Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 8th of January, starting with the ASX on the 4-hour chart here. As you know, in the bigger picture and some of this picture here, I'm not 100% sure on what is going on. There's still a possibility that the move up through here can be part of a larger correction where we have this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then moving down from that point. I don't think that's the case, but we'll be aware of that. I'll just put these back. But today we're going to break down this particular pattern here that we're working with. So far we're looking at it as wave 1, ABC for wave 2, and then going up for wave 3 here in a bullish mode, and then we'll have wave 4, which we can bring in here, and then wave 5 moving up here as such. Just tidy those up. So let's go in and have a little look at this area through here on the 1-hour chart here. We're looking at this as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then we're breaking this down here as from wave 2 here to wave 3 here. We're looking at this as wave 1 in here, wave 2 here, and then moving into wave 3 here. So we're looking for 5 waves between wave 2 and wave 3 here. So we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 here. And this is pulled back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree in here. So it's possible that it could just move straight up from here. But the thing is that it does appear that there's 5 waves down here, so I'm thinking that's an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. It would be rather flat. It may come back and test that 6-8 here as that large number, I'm not quite sure. But then it should push up from that point into wave 3, and then an A and a B and a C for wave 4 that can come back to the wave 4s here of 1 lesser degree here, and then push up for wave 5. So a bit of a roller coaster journey going through these 4s and 5s coming into this space. And also too, once we get up to this space here, we'll also be looking at a move back here and then moving up here as a wave 4 here as well. So all these wave 4s pulling back 38.2%, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So they can give us, we don't want to be trading through the wave 4s, but the wave 4s here will be able to give us more buying opportunities and taking profits here as well with this. Now, in terms of trading through here, I took the safe road, as you know, and didn't pan out that well, but we went long here and we took profit at the 6-8 here, but it didn't even stop here for this. So we're not in that trade, so I'm going to remove that, and we don't need that here, but I'll just move that out of the way. We can use that later. So the thing here is that I might just go to the tick chart here and then come back here a little bit. Okay, so let's go to 100 ticks. Okay, I haven't updated that chart. What I've done is I've just been working on the 20 tick chart, breaking it down further because I really wanted to have a look at all this in here. So I'll just stay with this at the moment, but just so you can pick up the thread here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 here. If you've got a keen eye, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2, and then we've got 1 and 2 here. Nice strong third wave here that plays out as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves in this little sequence here, and then 4 and 5 here for the third wave, ABC for the fourth here, and if you've got a keen eye, you can see the 5 waves up into this one here for the third. As I mentioned, it does appear that this looks like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. This fifth can make another low here, maybe not. I need to pull that. Maybe there's one more low in there, but it does appear that there's 5 waves here, so we need to grab that, an A and a B and a C here. So this would make the A wave here, the B wave back up into this supply level here somewhere, and wave C can play out here. But we've already, you know, if I take this from wave 2 low here, just to give you an idea, up to wave 3 there, the 38.2% is already here, and that's the wave 4 of 1 less degree here. But because we got 5 waves here, that means that we should get 3 here, and then another 5 here. But it can be rather flat too, that's okay, but it's not a flat correction. If it was a flat correction, that means that we would have 3 waves here, and then we'll have 3 waves coming back up here, making a flat top here, and then coming back down in 5 waves here, making it flat down here. So I think that it could push down a little bit further down through here, so we just need to be mindful of that. But you know, I think that, what day is it? Wednesday. So Wednesday is normally down in the morning and up in the afternoon, and then so I think we could just about go in and sort of buy pretty much close to, just give it a little bit, see how it goes on the open. Certainly, let's just have a look at this here. I think we're just going to have, rather than a trade setup, we might have to make a judgment call. Let's just say that that comes down to 6820 there. That will leave the 61.8% here. That means we could, I mean, the problem with this though is that the market can move up to here. We could go long here, and then the market could come down here again. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's, you know, 20, 30 points, but not a big deal if you're not over trading, not, you know, staying within your risk parameters. I know it's boring, but it's just something that you got to do. You got to feed the trend, so to speak. I think what we could do, just logically speaking, we could first of all buy if the 66850 here becomes the support. If that becomes a tested support, and you know that the classic trading levels pattern that goes on here, so if that becomes a tested support, then look to go long here. But I think we could also buy back in here, maybe not on this one. Could do, maybe get half a position down here at the 6820. I don't think it's going to come much further down. If it has another low here, we could be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I'm not quite sure. So we could have a new low and then push up to this point here, and then because we got 5 here, which is pretty clear, we should have 3 here coming back up into this space, and then another 5 down here. So whatever you do, just keep all the trades really quite small, and that way it won't be a problem. I can draw over this side. So if we've got 5 waves down here as such, then we're going to get 3 coming back up into this space, and then we're going to have another 5 coming down here. Probably won't come to 6.8, but could come to 6.10 or something, and then move up from that point. So you can come across this way, take the 2 highs out to go long, or you could just buy down at this point here, but make it a small position so you can give it some space to wiggle around on. And the other side of this is you can go a nice tested support on top of this level here. Yeah. So just coming back to the 1 hour chart. Well, that's not going to work there because it's a different chart. Let's just go to the 1 hour chart here. Just got to put that back over there. It's just, I mean, the stochastics using with Elliott wave are quite good because, well, I know the calculation and where they got the calculation from. George Lane, who passed away probably 15, 20 years. Gee, time goes fast, doesn't it? Yeah, his grandfather actually invented it, but he was a trader with the S&P 500, so he would day trade the S&P 500, the morning session, the afternoon session, use Elliott wave and the stochastics. So they can be quite helpful, and as we can see here on the hourly chart, you know, it is getting into an oversold situation, so that B wave is looking really quite good at this point. So I think that we could get a small position here and then allow it to rally up here. You can get out at this point if you short-term trader, but then if it finds support here, then you want to be getting in there again. So we'll put that just a little bit higher here, so it's got just above that 6850. And then also, if it doesn't find support here and it drops back down, then get your other position here, and then finally just copying this here just to build back into it a bit more and into here. And what we could do is we could take like about, I don't know, 70% profit, 80% profit up here, and then we'll buy more on this pullback over here for this wave 4. And then once you can kind of sort that out a little bit, we'll do the same again here as well. So this will push up probably into this space up here, but we'll check the count. We can take another 80, say 80% up here or something, 90%, and we can pull back in over here and get back in as well, and we can go up there further from that point. So it's just a matter of not making it perfect, but we know the closest, largest numbers on everything, so we should be able to, you know, move through this reasonably easy here. It just requires your attention, but don't overthink it. Okay, that's enough on that. Let's go to India and Hong Kong. So before I go to Hong Kong, I'll just go to China. And with China here, we know China is, to me, is in a bullish mode here. We'll go higher. We're going to get some sort of correction here. If I look at, because I don't really have any answers for Hong Kong at the moment. So this is the 61.8% mark on this trend line here. So that's quite possible. We were looking for this sort of corrective move here. So I can just pull that into shape a little bit better now. We don't need that there. So we're likely to see some sort of corrective pattern come in here and then move off. I just don't think it's finished. From looking at this 5-wave structure here, I think that this is obviously the support across the top there, and we're going to see that vibrate there for a little while, but yeah, we should see a bit more of a correction then up. So I'm thinking the same thing with Hong Kong as well. So when we have a look at Hong Kong, we know we've got 5 waves up here. So this first move here, it just looks a little bit small. So I just think that, and I've looked at this move down through here, it doesn't count very well. So I just think that that's moved back up to the 50-60% retracement level here. And it may get, you know, it may get a little bit uglier and do something like that and then come down, or just come down here and then move up. But this is kind of where we want to get it, in this space down here somewhere, or at least on these levels over here for that. So I just think we just need a little bit of time here for this. Nothing's jumping out at me, and I feel that we need, you know, I like something when I see 5 waves up and then a pullback, and then we can go in, and especially if we're working with a level, in most cases we're working with some sort of number, which makes life a little bit easier. So this is in corrective mode. I don't have a clear pathway for it just yet, but I feel that it will play out a little bit further. However, this is the 61.8% mark here. If there is support on the 28.5, then by all means go long, but we would need the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, blah blah blah, and then you know, taking that high out and bringing it down to the second high and taking it in that fashion. Let's have a look at India. India's kind of in the same little boat as well, because I won't go into the bigger picture, no need to at this stage. From the top here that we've been working with, we've been looking down as wave 1 and 2 and 3. We're looking for wave 4 to come back. The 38.2% retracement level, which was basically in here. It shot up a little bit further than that. Not a concern. You can see that it traded above the 12,100, but it didn't find it as support, and that's what we look for, don't we? So we don't chase the first move through a level, and that's to the downside as well. We don't chase the first move down, because we know most of the time it's going to retest, and that retest is just as important as the breakout. But we don't chase the breakout. We don't chase the retest. but we look for the support after those events have occurred. And in this case, we haven't done it. Also with our stop too, we were quite cagey with that because we figured that what we'll do is we will wait for the market to move up first, and we'll let it vibrate here. And I mentioned if it found support, then you can bring down and start to move out of this short trade. But otherwise, what we'll do is we'll look for the second high here. So really, this is the second high here, but I've just brought it down further. So that was the second high in here. You'll see that better on the tick chart here. So the market's moved up, it's come back down. So this is the second high here. So we can bring the stop down to this point, but then we can bring it down to this one, and then we can bring it down to this one here. So that's what we're going to do. We'll come back to this in a moment. I'll just finish off my my story with this. So what we're doing here is we're just bringing that stop down to here. That also can bring in our long trade here as well for this, right? So technically speaking, we should be seeing down for 1, back for 2, 3, 4, and 5 down to here, where we're going to take profit here at 11,900 here. I do have a bit of an issue with this particular pattern here. So this move up through here, it looks like it plays out as 5 waves through here. So we're not out of the woods yet. This move down here can be an A and a B and a C wave here, and then move up here and move down again. So it's possible. I just got to share it. So currently this would be the 50-60% retracement level here. So it's quite possible if I can just, not the right thing to do, but let's need to go to the bigger degree, but it's quite possible to have sorry about that, I just had to answer an email from our server. I lost my thread on that, but I had to answer that email. Apologies about that. So yeah, this will move in through here. So it's possible that we can have an A wave here, some sort of B wave, and then a C wave move up here. And I'll show you on the tick chart here that the move up through here, maybe it is corrective, but the way I count it is 1 and 2 here, and then all the way up for the 3rd, the 4th here, then 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, and 5 in here to finish that off. So it looks like we've got 5 waves here, but the flip side of that is we've also got 5 waves coming down through here, but this could be little A, B, C here for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. I don't think so, but it's possible. And the other interesting thing here, though, is that this move here is in an A, and then an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here for a B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So to me, this is bearish corrective. So we should be going lower at this particular stage from here. We should be taking out that low there. So I'm thinking that we've got 1 here and 2 here, and we should have 3 coming down here, finishing this off. But we know that the US market's a bit bearish, bullish, so I haven't, and wave 5 coming down to 11.9 here. So I think this is the pathway for this, but it's just not looking good on sort of 2 fronts. Well, this here appears to have 5 waves here, so I struggling to call it wave 4, but I've got to stay with it. But to relieve that problem there, it does appear we've got 5 waves here, and then an ABC back to the 61.8%. So we do need to see this move down lower through here. So we can look at this as 1 and 2 in here, 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 2 here, and then we want to see it moving down. We don't want to see this top being taken out here. Right? Like I said, we can go, that's the 61.8% here. So we can go long. We've got our stop here now, but we can go long on the 12,100 as a tested support. This is not tested support here, even though it traded above here, as you know. I can't draw on this side, but I can draw on this side. So what we're looking for here is that market moves up here, then it's got to come back and test it. All right, normally corrective. Group 2 below here, subgroup 2 here. I don't know what that extra line is doing in there. Must have escaped from somewhere. Yeah, obviously down here. So normally this would be the support area. In this case, it's the resistance here, as you can see. So it's not part of that number there. It's being rejected. This number here is being rejected because group 2 here has become the resistance here on the retest on a corrective pattern here. But if it, in the future, if it becomes the support here, then you need to, start paying attention because, going long at these points here for this. So, alrighty, that's it. We'll just stay short and play our target out, and we'll change if we need to change, and you know how to do that now. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.